Guru Charitra, Chapter 1. Vision of Sri Gurunath. Saraswati Gangadhara begins with invocation prayers for divine grace to endow on him merit and strength to be able to successfully compile the sacred Guru Charitra, the glorious account of the divine incarnations of Lord Sri Dattatreya, that is, Sri Sripada Sri Vallabha and Sri Narsimha Saraswati. Namdharak, an ardent devotee of Sri Narsimha Saraswati, sets out for Gangapur for the darshan of the holy Padukas. Tired and exhausted, he fainted on the way. At this time, Gurunath appeared before him in a dream and blessed him. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Guru Dattatreyaye Namaha, Shri Mahalakshme Namaha, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guru, the spiritual preceptor, is himself Lord Brahma, the creator of the cosmos. Guru himself is Lord Vishnu, the sustainer of the cosmos. Guru himself is Lord Maheshwara, who absorbs unto himself this creation at the end of each cycle. And verily, the Guru himself is absolute and supreme Godhead, and unto that Guru I offer my total obeisance. To transcribe into finite language in the confines of limited vocabulary the infinite glory and effulgence of Guru Dattatreya, the unified manifestation of the Supreme Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara, is an impossible task for any. Even the Vedas failed and beat a retreat. But even so, if at least a small and single ray of the supreme effulgence of the Godhead can be captured, that is enough to redeem the world. And through divine grace, the impossible becomes possible, to some or to a little extent at least. Saraswati Gangadhara, or Namdharak, the blessed devotee of Dattavatara Sri Narsimha Saraswati, before setting out to write the sacred Guru Charitra, the life story of the avatar, invokes the grace of Lord Ganesha. Without Lord Ganesha's grace, nothing can be achieved. He is Mangalamurti, the embodiment of all the auspicious attributes and abode of all auspiciousness. He is most easily pleased, responds instantaneously, and bestows his grace ever readily on whosoever calls out to him. He makes the impossible possible. With his grace and help, the sage Vyasa could compose the incomparable and monumental Mahabharata. Saraswati Gangadhara extols Lord Ganesha, saying, "You are the remover of all obstacles. You keep your large fan-like ears always waving. The air waves produced thereby drive away all the obstacles in the path of your devotees. In your stomach rests all the worlds, and that is why you are extolled as Lambodara. Even all the gods have to worship you alone first, before undertaking any of their divine tasks. I pray to you to bless this venture of mine and help me through." Next, Saraswati Gangadhara invokes the grace of Mother Saraswati, the bestower of all knowledge and wisdom. He prays, "You are the mother of all the Vedas. Without your grace, man cannot pronounce even a syllable. You are the life force behind the sound. You are the indweller in all the fourfold aspects of sound, that is, Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikharis. From the subtlest to the grossest expressions of sound, I beseech you to bless me and help me in this venture of mine." Saraswati Gangadhara next prays to the Trimurtis and to Sri Dattatreya. He prays, "O Lords, you are the primeval Gurus. You are the ones who incarnated in the Kali Yuga as Sri Narsimha Saraswati to redeem people from their ignorance and their ills. With full faith that you alone are going to steer me through this colossal venture, I am setting out upon this task. It is like the child trying to catch the moon by stretching out its hand, but even so I have complete faith in you that you will help me through." Thus, Saraswati Gangadhara starts with the divine narrative, the Guru Charitra. As a prelude, he gives a brief account of his lineage and of his immediate forebears. He belongs to the Kaundanyasa Gotra. He is of the fourth generation in the line reckoning from Sayamdev. Sayamdev's son was Nagnath and Nagnath's son was Devrao. All of them were staunch devotees and worshippers of Gurunath. Sayamdev and Nagnath has the blessed privilege of being the close disciples of Gurunath and of serving the Master in his lifetime. It is because of the merit earned by them that one among their family, Saraswati Gangadhara, could become an instrument of the Lord to write about the divine Leelas of the great Dattavatara for the benefit of humanity and the world. It should, however, be understood that the life of any great saint or master, and much more so of an avatar like that of Sri Narsimha Saraswati, is like a huge iceberg lying submerged in the frozen waters of the ocean, and showing but a tiny crest or pinnacle afloat on the waters. What will be discernible to human eyes is just the tiny portion afloat above the waters, but not the mountain-sized iceberg submerged under the waters. So also, in the following account of Gurunath's life, it is but a fraction of his glory that will be delineated. It is impossible for anyone to describe the avatar's full glory. He is a mystery beyond all human comprehension. There was once a devotee named Namdharak, and who had a great yearning to visit the holy place of Gangapur for the darshan of the sacred Guru Padukas, the Nirguna Padukas of Dattavatar Sri Narsimha Saraswati Deva enshrined there. He heard much, most authentic anecdotes how Gurunath continues to shower his grace on all seekers even after his Mahaprasthan, and that a pilgrimage to Gangapur is sure to soothe the mind, to satiate the yearnings of the heart, to quench the thirst of the soul, and to allay the hunger of the spirit for all the devotees. With great expectations and hopes, Namdharak sets out from his far-off village to Gangapur. The journey was long and arduous. He was very exhausted and had lost all of his stamina. He was seized with despair as to whether he would survive and be able to reach destination at all. Resting under a tree, Namdharak cried out in desperation, "O Gurudeva, don't you have pity and compassion on me? I may be unmerited with so many sin loads on my head, but what of it? Will a mother ever forsake her son, however bad and evil he may be? You know how devotedly my ancestors worshipped and served you. Because of that, at least, show me also a little consideration. Ignoring and forgiving all my lapses, if you forsake me, who can I look to? O my Lord, I will end my life if you are so callous to me." Wailing thus in anguish and desperation and fatigued by the journey, he fainted and fell unconscious. Lo! No mother ever forsakes her child. Even the cow comes seeking its calf. Namdharak had a wondrous dream. Gurunath Sri Narsimha Saraswati Deva stood there before him, casting his benevolent looks upon him and placing his hand on his head as a token of his blessing. Namdharak's joy knew no bound. He fell at Gurunath's feet. He sang out long hymns of praise to the Lord. He offered mental worship to him. He collected the dust from under the feet of the Lord and smeared it on his own forehead and all over his body. He was overwhelmed with joy. Thus ends the first chapter of Sri Guru Charitra, describing the dream vision vouchsafed to Namdharak by Sri Gurunath. Glory to the all-merciful, the omnipresent, and the ever-responsive Gurunath.